Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Good Saturday morning, all of you out there. That was from earlier this week, the big matchup with Old Dominion and Norfolk State on the hardwood, which the Monarchs held on to win. But we've got all kinds of high school football playoff action to talk about with all of you. It is 757 Sports Talk, coming on a little bit before 10 a.m. Eastern so that I can skedaddle on my way over to Dowling Stadium for the Churchland Chuckers and the Phoebus Phantoms in Region 4A today. We encourage all of you to like, share, and subscribe and interact with us wherever you are tuning in on this particular Saturday, the 15th of November, the year 2025. I am Matthew Hatfield. My cohort is diligently troubleshooting his issues. What's new? He's got lots of them, ladies and gents. But while he does that, we await him, and we'll get ready to go through some scores in a moment. We do have a couple of potential guests in the weeds in the works if they do hop on and have time this morning. We did go a little earlier than we normally do, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. So we'll probably be done about, quarter to 11, if not 11, or a few minutes after 11. We'll see how that all shakes out. We do have some sound from one of the football playoff games that I was at on Friday night as the 2025 VHSL postseason is underway. 84 games in the books, 72 higher seeds have advanced. We shall see if we do get a couple of surprise guests that we have in the works. We will have some sound, though, nonetheless, from a Region 5A game. And we encourage you to like, share, and subscribe to Cova Sports TV and interact with us this morning as we talk everything sports with you, high school, college, and pro. And when we do get Coach Young on, we're going to effort doing our buy or sell, which we have not done in quite some time. It's been a little while since we've done buy or sell on the show. Got some college football questions for all of you out there too. I did want to save this for Coach Young to get his thoughts on the issue, because it is something that happened just the other day that we do need to take time and certainly pay homage to one of the legends in the sports world from not just the 757, but the Commonwealth. We lost a great one late Thursday night, and that one being Dr. Jim Jarrett, the longtime athletic director at Old Dominion University, passing away. And I didn't get to know Dr. Jarrett really well, but he was certainly a pioneer for women's sports and a trailblazer in many ways. He helped put many of the sports that Old Dominion has been recognized in on the map, and we certainly send our thoughts and prayers. Athletic director for 40 years, from 1970 to 2010, as he has passed away at the age of 88. He helped also, as you see it on the ticker scroll across, the rise in other sports besides the women's programs, the men's basketball program back in the day, the late Sonny Allen and what they did. And you think of what they've had successfully over there in terms of women's basketball and field hockey. And go check out more on just his career if you didn't get a chance to know him. People speak so highly of him. When people do pass away, there sometimes are people that, aren't that saddened and that they don't always say the nicest things. But I've never heard someone say a bad thing about Dr. Jarrett. So thoughts and prayers to his family and the ODU community losing a legend. And again, some good remembering from Harry Minium on ODUsports.com as he caught up with, I believe, Wendy Larry and Dave Twardzik and some others that got to know him over the years. So rest in peace to Dr. Jarrett out there. So we're going to go through some high school football there, though. Now, as you see, actually, there's the graphic we have for you on Dr. Jarrett. Beautiful smile and a wonderful man who did so much for athletics at ODU during his time in Norfolk, the native of Illinois that came to the Commonwealth. And rest in peace to Dr. Jarrett. Let's go through some of the high school football. We'll put some sound up as we do still wait for Coach Young, and we'll also get Coach Young's thoughts on Dr. Jarrett's life and legacy when we get a chance as well here this morning on 757 Sports Talk. It is Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe for all of you out there. And as we do that, let's put up the brackets here now there's Class 4 Region A. Let's actually take it from the top. Class 6 Region A is where we'll go to begin things here on this particular Saturday morning. And again, we encourage you all to like, share, and subscribe, interact with us throughout the program. You see Class 6, no real shocker, LC Bird, that was the word. They just rumbled all over Western Branch 35-7 in their matchup. Manchester had a little more trouble with Lancetown than some of us expected. 38-28 was the final in that one. So the Lancers take on Thomas Dale in the regional semifinals. What's new? These two schools have squared off quite a few times as of late. And all those matchups have gone the way of Manchester. Thomas Dale has lost to them now 5 straight times since 2017, including a 38-35 nail-biter in 2022, 18-7 last year. So we'll see if Dale can exact some revenge in that matchup with the Manchester Lancers. Oscar Smith had to bye, like Dale. They'll take on LC Bird in round number 2. Round number 2 for Region 6B. It was chalk, 1, 2, 3, 4. What'd you expect? Pretty much what we anticipated, as it was chalk across the board there. And Colonial Forge pitching a shutout. North Stafford over Independence. They now get their rematch that they wanted so badly with Battlefield Bobcats, who beat them last time they met back in late August, early September. I think it was late August, on a last-second touchdown pass. Keaton Ramey hauling it in from Ethan Stowell in that game. And Woodbridge, 41-21 over Patriot. Woodbridge's offense, folks, is for real. I'm really, really intrigued by the Woodbridge offense against the Forge defense. What's going to happen there, as we'll see if Forge can slow down an offense that is really, really prolific right now. Charles tuning in out there. We thank you, Charles. My background looks like we are in the future. Yeah, we're in the future. Back to the future, folks. I'm in the studio on this particular episode of 757 Sports Talk. Thank you for tuning in, Charles. We'll get to what you have on your mind. I'm sure you want to ask about a game coming up here in a moment. But North Stafford Battlefield, I think North Stafford is built for this now. They may not have been built and ready for it the first go-round, but they're playing at a higher level at this moment than Battlefield. Now, that being said, I was just telling somebody on Friday night, if you look at future pros potentially from the Commonwealth, we love to see who's going to be a Sunday player. We just skip past Saturday like it's just, nothing. The highest-rated player in the state, and for good reason, is the running back at Louisa, Savion Hyder, who was a 5-star headed to Michigan. Some wonder, is he the only guy that's going to have a chance to play on Sundays? Well, there might be some others. You never know. In fact, his future Michigan teammate from Oscar Smith, the 4-star wide receiver, Travis Johnson, who we had on back in the summertime after he made his pledge to the Wolverines, he could have an opportunity, perhaps, depending on how he develops and strength and conditioning and how he progresses once he gets to Ann Arbor. But a linebacker at Battlefield has really caught my eye, Noah Glover. He is a big-time force. He's got 20, 25 offers already. Sideline to sideline. He's got it. I think his dad played like tight end at West Virginia, if I recall correctly. He is the difference maker. So if he has a big game in that Battlefield defense, which has not given up more than 16 points all year, can slow the North Stafford offense again. All right, then they're playing in the region finals, and we'll see if Greg Hatfield's Bobcats make it past Thanksgiving weekend. My cousin Greg Hatfield, the coach over there at Battlefield High up in Haymarket. Class 6 Region C, known as the Occoquan region. I love that name. We didn't put it on the screen. I don't know why we didn't put it on the screen. West Springfield And Fairfax, after the Spartans take care of business with ease against West Potomac, 48-13. Javon Austin, the wide receiver, had 3 touchdowns, 3 tutties in that game over the Wolverines, their Patriot District rival. Fairfax uses their defense to hold off Alexandria City. They actually had a late score in that game in the fourth quarter. They were trailing, I think it was 13-12 or 13-10, 13-11, and then they scored to go ahead and ultimately take it. Lake Braddock, no problem with Mount Vernon. And South County, their defense is on point. I think the Stallions have won like 7 of their last 8. They're really humming here. Trevion Campbell, one of the best wide receivers in all of Virginia, and even beyond to him, the junior quarterback has quietly come into his own, Dylan Miller over there, with over 3,100 yards entering last night's ball game. So South County, I didn't really think they were going to be a threat to be contending for a region title when the season started. I'll admit it. I thought the coaching change was going to be too hard to overcome and some of the newness, if you will. But they have meshed pretty well once they hit October, now into November, playing their best football at the right time of the year, which is what you want if you are in position to play for some hardware. All right, let's go to Class 6 Region D. Then we'll take a quick timeout and come back with Class 5 Region A, where we have some sound for all of you out there. Centerville, apologies again, I still didn't fix I thought I fixed the spelling on the second hand, but it is like it's supposed to be spelled in the first round bracket. 42-31 over George Marshall. Their offense is fun to watch. It's wide open. They can hit you on the ground. They can hit you through the air. Madison's been known for lights-out defense. Now, they faced a really good quarterback in Cole Sandberg for Langley and had to win a high-scoring affair, 42-32. Here's what I'll tell you about this game. I don't think Madison wants this to be played in the 30s or above. I think they want this below 28. And if they get it below 28 and can dictate flow and tempo, advantage Warhawks, who have been in a few state championships under Justin Counts here lately. Meanwhile, South Lakes takes on Westfield. I don't think this is that close. You see what Westfield did against W&L, who they had lost to by a whisker the first go-round. Some injuries certainly had W&L hobbled, but don't take that away from what Westfield did, putting up 56 on the board. So that is noteworthy. And I think they want another crack at Centerville. They wouldn't mind if they had to see Madison, who has beaten them in the playoffs before here lately. Scott Vossler's team, they've got 3 close losses, but they're capable of winning this region. They might be the most well-rounded of the group. Centerville has the best offense of the group. Madison has the pedigree and experience in that group. South Lakes, I think they're happy to be where they're at. I'd be shocked if they got through another round at 6-5 on the year. So that's going to close it out just for now. The Class 6 postseason picture. We'll come back and give you some Class 5 playoff, Class 4, Class 3, Class 2, and Class 1 around the corner too. Keep in mind there are some games today, which include the one I'm going to be checking out, Phoebus and Churchland over at Darling Stadium in Hampton. You also have, in addition to that, John Hanley and Liberty Bealton. And in Class 2, that's Region 4D. In Class 2, over in Region D, the Union Bears, top-seeded team there, takes on Lehigh, who's 4-6. So that is all on the way. It is 757 Sports Talk. We are powered by Cova Sports TV. Make sure you hit that like button. Share it to your friends, your family, your loved ones, even the ones you don't love. And when you hit subscribe, you get notified when we go live, be it on YouTube and our platform with Cova Sports TV. So that's all on the way. NFL picks to conclude the show, too, for week number 11, where I am holding on to a very, very, very slim lead on Bruce Pearl at 15-15. Bruce is 14-16. And Coach Ed Young is 6 games below 500 at 12-18. But he will brag about going a perfect 3-0 last week. We're not sure who he hit up for picks, if he hit up his cousin Vinny, or if he hit up somebody else. But he certainly didn't come up with those on his own. More is coming your way. It is 757 Sports Talk. And keep it tuned and interact with us here on Cova Sports TV.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
Portco is your local nonprofit organization dedicated to economic empowerment through employment for people with disabilities. We focus on abilities, not limitations, providing on-the-job vocational support. Find your pathway to employment. Contact us or learn more at portco.org.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
All right, here with the senior from Indian River High School, Ryan Robinson, after his team's 47-14 win over Kempsville in the regional quarterfinals. They move on to the semis, take on Cox next week. Ryan, all right, you found the end zone 3 times tonight. 40-yard scoring reception, 25-yard scoring catch, and a 90-yard pick six. Which one was your favorite and why?
Probably the 90-yard pick six.
Why is that?
I read it perfectly, man. As soon as I caught it, I knew nobody was catching me.
Okay.
Defense always said we got somewhere to stand, so we still where we need to stand.
Sure. Coming in, you knew last year that Kempsville jumped out on you guys 14-0, had the great third quarter where you blew them away. What was Coach Carr's message during the week and the whole coaching staff for you guys to kind of jump on them fast and not let them have confidence? What was kind of the plan coming in?
Don't play down to their level, We come out, we can't come out soft, can't come out soft, you feel me? So we got to come out hard, beat them, punch them in the mouth.
What's it like catching the passes from your new quarterback this year, the freshman Lord Malik Heru? He threw 5 of them tonight. Feels like with yourself and Elijah Boggs, Jason Preston, you all have a really well-rounded receiving core, and through the air you can get past the defensive backs. How do you guys progress from game 1 to now in your eyes?
We just kept working at it. We kept practicing with our QB, kept upgrading the chemistry, working with them, getting better every day,
Is this team better from last year when you got to the playoffs? You lost a heartbreaker, I know, in the overtime game to Green Run. Do you feel like you guys have improved from a year ago? And if so, where? For sure.
We improved in the aspect of not letting nobody take the game away from us. We got to keep our composure. We got leaders on the team that know how to calm people down, know how to get people where they need to be. We know how to talk.
Did you guys sense, too, coming in, that playing in the Southeastern District, seeing the Oscar Smiths, the Kings Forks, that overtime classic you had here with Nance River, that would help you for the playoffs and seeing a team from the beach tonight?
Yes, sir. We battle. We have competition. We go out here every day, fight as hard as we can. When the playoffs come, ain't no playing around with nobody. Just want to go home.
You're a senior. You don't want to go home, right?
No, sir.
Are you getting some looks for the next level? And if so, any schools showing some interest that you could highlight for us?
Yes, sir. I got offers from Hampton, Randolph-Macon in the future. Shawan, Hampton-Sydney, Ferrum, and Christopher Newport University.
Okay. Why should a school recruit you? What would you bring to the table for them, in your opinion?
I feel like I'm very coachable. I listen to all what my coaches say, use it on the field, tell my teammates, leadership, all that.
That's 2 for you. How different is it playing in the cold compared to those 90-degree days in August? Have you guys adjusted to it already? Or?
Yes, sir. Hey, tonight I wasn't even cold. You see, I don't even have anything on.
No sleeves, nothing. No gloves.
No shirts.
Okay.
Mental toughness.
Well, you want to be playing on Thanksgiving. I know that's the goal, to be playing having the turkey in the real cold as you get closer to December. What's it going to take to beat Cox? They have a pretty good defense. You got the same intensity you did tonight?
Same. Everything we did tonight, we need to do next week. Have a good week of practice, have great leadership, great teamwork, all that.
The Braves close it out in style here at James L. Fry Stadium behind Ryan Robinson. Thank you so much. Go enjoy it.
Yes, sir.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here is Matt Hatfield.
All right, welcome back to 757 Sports Talk. here on Kova Sports TV. Interact with us all morning long. You heard from Ryan Robinson, who had himself a whale of a game, couple of touchdown catches and a 90-yard pick six that put things out of reach quickly before the half, as Kempsville actually got behind by a running clock margin. This is a team that led 14-0 in the first quarter a year ago in the regional quarterfinals and had a 14-point halftime lead before the Braves erupted for 34 points in the playoffs last year. But we fire back up the scoreboard for Region 5A. You'll also hear from Coach Brandon Carr and freshman quarterback Lord Malik Heru here in just a little bit. But the Braves, with that 47-point outburst, one of their best performances of the year. In fact, they've scored more than 47 on 3 different occasions, 55 to Granby, as you saw in the ticker moments ago, 59 to Grassfield, and 57 to Lakeland. But to do this at this time of the year, they like that. And now they go travel to Cox as the Frank W. Cox Falcons. We had on Coach Tyler Noe last week. Good to know we didn't jinx him, as he saw his group win by a running clock score as well to beat the Kellum Knights over there in Virginia Beach. Cox has not had a lot of success as of late against the Southeastern District. And in fact, they've lost, I think Doug Ripley sent me this note, they're like their last 7 playoff games to schools from the SED. So with that in mind, we're going to find out if they can use their defense, which has been rock solid all year long, giving up like less than 10 points per game, to fuel them on a chance to play on Thanksgiving weekend, which would be a big deal for Cox. Got themselves a 99-yard kickoff return from Kai Regard into the second quarter. It's the third time in school history that somebody's done that for Cox. They've actually lost 8 in a row. I stand corrected looking at Doug's notes now. 8-game losing streak against the – oh, here you go. Yeah, it's 8-game losing streak against Indian let's see here. 8-game losing streak against teams from the Southeastern District. So they've lost their last 2 games last year in 2021 to Deep Creek, 2017 to Oscar Smith in overtime. That was a great quarterfinal game with Tavion Robinson against Cam Kelly and the Tigers over there in Chesapeake. They also lost 2016 Grassfield, 2014 Oscar Smith, 2013 Western Branch, and 2009 to Grassfield. So they're trying to do something that hasn't happened in a long while. 1991 season opener, when they beat Western Branch at home 30-23, then coached by Jim Prince. I know Coach Prince probably pops on the show every now and then if he's watching on Facebook. Give us a shout, Coach, if you're out there. Love Jim Prince, former Ocean Lakes coach as well. But this is going to be a tall task for them because Indian River's offense was really in a groove with Malik Heru, the freshman, who finished up with 11 of 20 for 232 yards and 5 touchdowns in a playoff game in his freshman debut in the postseason. That's as good as it gets. But that line of scrimmage for Indian River is no joke either. Jamari Horton, Corey Cinnamon, and those guys have been bringing it week after week after week. Green Run, Salem. That's the other matchup, as the Sun Devils ended up getting it done against Bayside, who they lost to 34-21. The running game was phenomenal for Coach Mark Hall and company. We're going to hear from Coach Hall, we believe, in a 10 o'clock hour in a little bit here. So looking forward to that, to catch up on what was different this go-round. Remember, the last time they played Bayside, their quarterback Landon Curls went down. They put in Cam Hall, had 5 interceptions in that game. But Bayside hung in there early. They were down 7-6, 14-13, 21-13. Actually got it to 28-19 and missed the 2-point conversion. Salem's running game, though, 327 yards as a team. And the sophomore who came back from injury, Jason Harden, runs for 186 yards and 2 touchdowns. Would have had 3, except ended up one of them called back on a penalty. Good morning to Woodrow out there is watching. And someone wanted to know, when do the preseason basketball rankings drop? We'll have them up on virginiapreps.com probably in the next couple of weeks. It'll be soon. We're still compiling our top 10s across the board in the state. I think we're the only ones that do it. And that will be out soon. I'll put a note out on social when it's coming up. But I would say right around November 24th that week going into December 1st, somewhere in that 7-day stretch between the 24th of November and the 1st of December. I got to look at the calendar a little harder to find out when exactly we will have it out, but it will be sometime in that stretch. Salem gets done with the running game. Green Run, they can run it. They can throw it. They're explosive. They have weapons. they're not shabby either. Luke Ashcraft, 3 touchdown passes. Devin Miller's been really coming into his own. He has a score. Xavier Cleveland catches a couple. Charles Jackson, the ODU commit, runs for a couple scores. Deep Creek was kind of in it, 22-7 down. Michael Jones has a couple of scores from Dejon Everett, but it's Green Run, moving on. Much easier time than a couple years ago when they had to hang on against Deep Creek, and we'll see how the Stallions do against the Sun Devils and see if Salem can be the first team in about 60-something games to beat Green Run. Last school to do it back in the COVID-shortened year in 2021. In the springtime, it was 35-28 Green Run back on October 3rd as the Stallions had to rally from double digits down to win that ball game. Jackson had to go ahead, winning score in the final seconds. Chadney Cross made some key plays on special teams. We'll see if Salem gets a similar performance from Marcus McCoy at linebacker, who has been a stud all year long. Before we go to Region 5B, I know you want to hear from that flashy quarterback of the Indian River Braves, and that is one Lord Malik Heru. He sizes up what his team has done well this year and also looks ahead to what they'll need to do against the Cox Falcons as we catch up with him after the win Friday night over Kempsville right here on Cova Sports TV.
5 touchdown passes tonight for the freshman Lord Malik Heru as Indian River breezes by Kempsville in the regional quarterfinals onto the semis. First playoff game. Any jitters for you? It didn't seem like there was.
No, sir, it wasn't any jitters. I treated it like another game on the season.
How much of the battles in the Southeastern District against Oscar Smith and Kings Fork, the overtime game with Nance River, help you for tonight and what's ahead?
It helped me develop as an all-around player, and it helped me prepare for this game.
Take me through the strategy without giving all the game plan elements, if you can. What were the things that the coaches told you offensively you guys had to do and execute coming out of the gate?
Be smart, be fast, be physical, and never take your foot off the brake.
I heard the word physical. You slung it around tonight for 5 touchdowns and had a lot of big plays. Was also a part of it to get the running game going, to allow those opportunities downfield for you to have the shots deep? Part of it?
The pass did help out the run, and the run helped out the pass.
Sure, it goes hand in hand here for you.
Yes, sir.
What did you see defensive from Kempsville? Was there something coverage-wise that was different from some other opponents that you felt like you could exploit, or what did you see up there on the field as the game progressed?
A defense is a defense, so I just try to I look at defense, I analyze, and I try to find my open guy.
Elijah Boss had a couple early scores, and Ryan Robinson, your senior, opposite him, stepped up. What's it like to throw the football to all these different weapons you have out there? You got some good playmakers around you.
Yes, I do. I give credit to my O-line and my wide receivers, too, because they also have to make plays and get open for me.
Is most of the chemistry built from the offseason to now? How have you guys grown from game one to this point?
I think we've grown a lot mentally, our bond together, our brotherhood, and our chemistry.
You didn't want those seniors to go home unhappy tonight, and you weren't a part of last year's playoff game against Kempsville. Coming out in the playoffs like this to have 5 touchdowns, what's the feeling like to perform so well, knowing that there's so many eyes and expectations when you get to this stage, if you will?
It feels good. I've been doing it already. So, to do it in the playoff game, it felt pretty good to do at that level.
You got more goals ahead. You got Cox coming up next week. They got a pretty stingy defense. They've won 7 in a row, I think it is, since starting 2-2. What's it going to take to keep this thing going to Thanksgiving weekend?
Do what we've been doing before. Just prepare all week and never take anybody lightly.
Makes it look easy out here for the Braves. Have been here 5 touchdowns for freshman Lord Malik Heru. Thank you so much. Go enjoy it.
Thank you.
Such a polished young man and bright future ahead for Lord Malik Heru of the Indian River Braves after that 47-14 win over Kempsville in the region quarterfinals. 232 yards, 5 TDs as they move on to take on the Cox Falcons. All right, back to some more scores from high school football that took place on Friday night across the 757 and beyond as we fire back up some of the music here for all of you out there. Region 5B, Kings Fork Bulldogs. I don't know if you saw it on the highlights, but Zadarius Wynn had the nasty one-handed snag. Isaiah Gilliam's been running well on that defense for Kings Fork. Lights out as they take care of Granby by 32. Bethel, 28-18 over Nansemond River. Shout out to David Porter and his Bruins. They get it done. Derek Fisher, the UVA commit with a pick 6. Amari Pryor runs it well. Alex Lewis found Antonio Cummins and Casey Campbell over the middle a couple of times through the air. And the Warriors without Tyrell Grant Jr., the Syracuse commit, didn't play due to injury. They kept him out for precautionary reasons. Bruins knocked them off. They'll take on Kings Fork. Warwick's defense, it was nasty. What's new? They've been running it well with Amari Meredith to complement Terrius Downtown Brown, and Thomas Sykes' team gets another crack at Maury, who's knocked them out of the playoffs the last couple of years. We'll see if they have what it takes defensively to slow the Commodores, who've been throwing it well, with our reigning Chicho's Pizza 757 Football Player of the Week in one, Damo Everett. Let's put that up there for you out there. Last week against Granby, Damo ended up throwing for 6 touchdowns in the first half to bring his total to 35 for the year. They outscored their Eastern District opponents 65-4 on the year. Giovanni Wiggins made things happen on both sides of the ball, and Maury breezes by Woodside 64-6 in that one. Go to 5C quickly here. You've got Patrick Henry Roanoke taking on Hermitage, who beat Midlothian 26-14. William Fleming by 40 over Douglas Freeman, and Highland Springs had to rally from an early deficit to beat Glen Allen 28-9. Antoine Buddy Richardson with 9 interceptions this year to lead the way for the Springers on defense. He's also playing quarterback, converted from wide receiver. He's a player of the year candidate, as we've talked about a couple of different times here on Cova Sports TV. John Champ over Briar Woods. They'll move on to see Stonebridge. Potomac Falls beats Light Ridge. I don't know if the common person out there knows how good the Stonebridge defense truly is. I mean, it's been just dominant. Riverbend's offense is putting up, 50 plus with regularity, but that Stonebridge defense is playing, I'll say it out loud, as stifling as any in the state, regardless of classification. And it might require someone having to really figure out that defense to win a championship. I'm sure there's some teams in the 757 and 804 that believe they can, and I'm sure Riverbend thinks they can. We'll find out if they can, because if you're scoring double figures on that defense, you're doing something. I think only one team's done it all year, which was Quince Orchard. We'll go to Class 4 Region A here. We have some games today, though, so it's not all settled. Hampton's going to take on the winner of Phoebus Churchland. The Manor game, not even competitive. Smithfield over War Hill got a great rushing performance on Thursday night. Did the Packers from Zyron Wells, who ran it about 26 times for over 170 yards and a couple of scores. Lafayette, their defense, talk about shutting people down. Lafayette's defense is playing about as stifling as any in Class 4, as Andy Lynn's team held Kevin Parker in check. He was completing over 70% of his passes. He didn't do that on Friday night, as the Lafayette defense really buckled down, shut them out, and the running game with Breon Stokes and Joshua Simpson both going over 100 yards, it's on point. Feels like we're going a collision course with Lafayette and with Hampton in Region 4A. Region 4B, I can't tell you what collision course we're on in this region, folks, because this region is too hard to figure out. You've got really, really fine football teams across the board. Now, Louisa's going to play Huguenot. It's going to be a Saturday 1:30 kick. Varina's going to take on Dinwiddie. It's a Saturday 1 o'clock kick over there at Dinwiddie. You're looking at state champs from 21 and 22. You're looking at just fabulous players all across the board. I think Dinwiddie may be the most impressive of what they've done, given what they brought back and having to replace Harry Dalton. Some wondered if that was even feasible, that they could go 10-0. Varana's played maybe the hardest schedule when you look at the teams they've faced, like Grimsley out of Carolina and Maury, Highland Springs, Phoebus, though it's not, let's check that. Highland Springs played Phoebus. But they played Maury, Grimsley, Highland Springs. They've played some heavyweights all year long. Huguenot might be peaking at the right time, and then Louisa has the guy, the best player on the field, in Savion Hyder. So all four present something of note that's interesting to make this worth seeing. I wish I could be at both games at once. Maybe I'll actually stay and watch both games if they're both streamed. I'm not sure if Dinwiddie's is streamed. I'm pretty sure Louisa streams theirs on NFHS. Someone up there help me and let me know, because I love to be at both. Can't clone myself. It's impossible. And if I can sit in my house and have it on 2 different laptops, that might be the way to go. I'm thinking that might be the way to go for Region 4B. Region 4C, nothing earth-shattering there, although Coach Young will brag he got one on me with Heritage over Broad Run. I don't know why I took a 2-18. I need to be drug tested, I guess. And you also had Woodgrove. Colton Dabkowski, freshman quarterback. He's no kid anymore, much like Malik Heru at Indian River. He's leading an offense that can hit for 40, 50 and get hot and almost unstoppable. I'm fascinated to see if Loudoun Valley can beat them for a second time, because that's a hard game, very, very hard game coming up for the Vikings. And then to finish up here, Region 4D, before we take a timeout and bring in our first special guest of the morning, GW Danville beats Blacksburg. They'll take on Sharando. I think the Eagles were glad Salem didn't make the playoffs from out west because they had been a nemesis of theirs. Jefferson Forest's defense is mighty, mighty strong. They await the winner of the Hanley Liberty Bilton game. So there you have it. When we return here at 1 o'clock kickoff. Oh, Charles updates me. It's not 1:30. It's 1 o'clock. I think the other game's 1:30. Dinwiddie Verona. Bottom line, it's next Saturday after 12 noon. So get there like 11, 12. You want to get a good seat because those games will be packed in Class 4. We're going to take a timeout, though. When we come back here, we have a special guest with us. He is the head football coach of the Salem Sun Devils, who avenged their regular season loss to Bayside. There were 4 teams in the state that did that on Friday night. You had Westfield beat Washington Liberty, lost to them earlier this year. You had Lebanon beat Virginia High. They just lost to them by a lot, by 30-plus a couple weeks ago. William Byrd gets revenge against Bassett, and the Sun Devils avenged that 34-21 loss to the Marlins by winning last night 28-19, and Mark Hall will join us to talk about it and so much more. It's all coming your way on 757 Sports Talk right here on Cova Sports TV after we hear from some of the sponsors, including Chicho's Pizza. Stay tuned.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why parents count on CHKD Sports Medicine, advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours. With convenient locations across Hampton Roads and a whole team of experts here to keep your favorite player at the top of their game. CHKD Sports Medicine. Learn more at chkd.org or call the CHKD Sports Injury Hotline.
Cova Painting. We don't just paint, we transform spaces. Visit covapainting.com or call 757-550-7357 and mention the Sportsplex for 10% off of projects over $1,000.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever! The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Bacon cheeseburger for a limited time, plus fries, drink, and a sundae. Yeah, this is not the time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. And there's bacon on that burger. The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Now, for a limited time on the $7 Meal Deal lineup. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
What does happiness mean to you?
Being in the ocean with you, watching you catch super fun waves.
In Virginia Beach, happiness is breaking barriers and savoring the sunshine.
I couldn't pick a better place or a better person to be with. This is what makes me happy.
Happiness is going all out.
And taking it all in.
Here, happiness is whatever you make it. Find yours in Virginia Beach.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here is Matt Hatfield.
And we're welcome back here to 757 Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe to Cova Sports TV and interact with us wherever you are tuning in. We have a special guest with us. He is the head football coach in his, I think it's his third year, maybe second full official year as the head man over there in Virginia Beach with the Salem Sun Devils, who are now 8-3 after beating the Bayside Marlins 28-19. We say hello to the former UVA Cavalier linebacker and two-way standout in football and basketball at Green Run. The opponent next for his Sun Devils, Mark Hall, the third. Coach, thank you for stopping by. How's life been treating you? Good win last night, huh?
Appreciate it, Matt. Good to see you, man. Always. Definitely, feels good to get a W, man, and definitely in this time. It's kind of tough. You don't know what to expect in the playoffs, but, it's either win or go home. So, definitely excited about the W last night.
No doubt. And it is year 3 for you at the helm because you came into a season, was it 2 years ago in the middle of the season? It flies by. I lose track once you get to 3, 4, 5. And I hear all these old heads, as they call them, the coaches say, oh, this is I forget if it's my 24th or 25th year, as they say.
Yeah, I'm not that old, but this is my ninth year coaching, but this is my fourth official year at Salem, but my third full year at Salem. So.
All right, good deal. Well, we mentioned it earlier, the running game on point for you. And even the game you lost to Bayside that I saw in September, he had a big game. Your sophomore in Jason Harden, who last night rumbles all over the Bayside defense for 186 yards and 2 touchdowns. As a team, you rack up 327 yards rushing. And I think you only threw it one time, which you completed for a touchdown pass. Is that right?
Yeah, we threw it actually twice. They were both completed. But, yeah, man, like I said, it's playoff football. And, we're not going to go away from what's working. It's hard to stop the run when it's cold outside. So that's what we were, excelling at. We had a tough time. We lost our quarterback, second game of the season, and we were trying to find our identity throughout the whole year. And I think we found it. So that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, you mentioned the injuries, Landon Curls. I know even just your running back was dinged up and Harden, linebacker, and Marcus McCoy, who's been one of the fiercest in the entire area and the state for that matter, with I think like close to 30 tackles for loss, 100+ tackles yet again. How have you tried to troubleshoot this thing? Because it felt like you hit a little bit of a bump in the road or a rock point. You lost the game to Bayside. You played Green Run so spirited the last time you met him, had a double-digit lead, and then you had the game with Cox where you didn't have any offensive flow. How did you keep the team upbeat after some of those adversity moments you had?
They're kids, and they're teenagers, young adults, and it's all about making sure that you check on their well-being. So I talked to them about Bayside being a game changer for us. That was our first loss. That hurt a lot, and then we were up for the first Green Run game. Guys were up. We took an L to them. So just finding that point of finding out who we were as a team. This has been, a year of adversity for us. And I think the kids are starting to realize that. A lot of nicks and injuries and bumps and bruises. And, we just got to find out where guys can play and how far along in the depth chart we can go. And we realize that we have a lot of guys that can actually contribute to our team. Everybody has a special role in our team, even our sideline guys, managers, who else. But we're trying to find our identity, and I think we found it. Guys are healthy.
We lost Coach Hall for a second there. We'll see if we can get him back here. As apparently the internet's playing tricks with all kinds of people out there today. I know Coach Young can't get on, and I'm not sure if he's in the school or at home, but we seem to have lost him. Oh, we got you back, Coach. You popped out. That tricky internet can do that to you, but go ahead. We finish what you were saying there. We lost you for a moment.
Yeah, saying we injuries, and we look forward going into this next game. We found our identity as a team, and we're grateful for that. Everybody has a solid role for us, and everybody's doing their 111th, and we're looking forward to this upcoming game.
Sure. Let's chat about you as a young head football coach who's got this team back in the hunt again, contending for a regional title and advancing in the playoffs. What have you learned, the biggest thing you've learned from the start as an assistant to becoming the head coach to now? What have you kind of soaked up in this whole process and journey?
Starting off at Greenwood in my coaching career as a volunteer straight out of college, you kind of sit back and you listen and you try to take on the knowledge of everybody. I have, tremendous respect for Brandon Williams. He gave me my first opportunity to coach. But, we're to a point where, we can't continue to be labeled as the little brothers of the beach, or what they call. I'm thankful for the opportunity he's given me. I've learned a lot from him. I've learned a lot from coaching under him, and even at the middle school level also. But the biggest thing is figuring out what you can do as a head coach. How can you contribute? What is your niche? So that's what I've learned, and I figured out my style of coaching, and the X's and O's are going to come. With the experience of being a player and playing at the collegiate level and, studying the game. But it's more than just, the X's and O's when it comes to coaching. It's about having that relationship with the kids, the parents, the community, and building that connection and, having them buy in also. So that's just what I've learned over the last couple of years.
Nicely put. And you obviously got some great tutoring from your father, who was a highly successful basketball coach there at Cape Henry Collegiate, Mark Hall. And you mentioned Brandon Williams giving you your start. I see your former basketball coach already starting the junk talking on Facebook there. See you at the 50. Kenneth Harris over there, who got himself a championship there.
long as he don't have the towel. As long as he don't have the
You know
towel.
what's funny, real quick? Yeah, he does have that towel. He likes to wave it. And sometimes, he's on the sideline as a basketball coach. We joke him that you're going to get a penalty because you're going up and you're like, I'm afraid he's going to get on the field there. You should probably, they like to say, stay in your lane a little bit. Sometimes he gets a little bit overboard there. But it's funny, though, when they say they never watch and then they interact real quick with a comment on the show. I always get a kick out of that here. But let's talk more about your guys for a moment, Coach, because you have some unsung heroes besides the main marquee names like certainly Jason Harden and Marcus McCoy. We know Isaiah Bray is a lineman who's been as imposing. You even use him in the backfield. I think he had a rushing touchdown against Green Run. I saw in that game you had earlier this year. But you have some other players like Caden Drenning, Jack Strother that have made their mark here throughout this year. Highlight some of the unsung heroes and players that are getting some attention for the next level if you can.
Oh, yeah. So, we'll start with Jack Strother. Jack Strother is, taking on the role of playing wherever he needs to play. This is a guy that I feel like we've put at almost every possession except O-line and D-line. We put him at quarterback. We put him at receiver, DB, outside linebacker. He's rushed off the edge, corner, so on and so forth. This last game, he was, at quarterback for us, made a lot of good reads for us. He actually played quarterback in middle school. So, we had the confidence in him to step into that light. And, he's had that confidence, and you can see he's starting to shine there. Also, Caden Drennan, he's one of those guys that is real quiet. He's a silent leader on our team, playing receiver and DB. Very athletic, long, lengthy kid. You can put him almost anywhere too. But I like a lot about him is, we haven't thrown the ball too much this year, obviously, because we were struggling at the quarterback position, and that's, nothing to hide. But he continuously does everything he wants to do. On his side, and we're grateful for that. One of the faster kids on our team, Aiden, and silent aside and play on defense too. He can go up and get the ball, and he actually scored our only receiving touchdown last night too. So
good deal. A few more minutes here with Mark Hall. He's the head football coach of the Salem Sun Devils, now 8-3 on the season after eliminating Bayside on the road in the regional quarterfinals by a count of 28-19. They'll take on Coach Hall's alma mater, Green Run, who's still rolling and undefeated at 11-0 after beating Deep Creek 36-14. That's going to be a 7 o'clock kickoff next Friday night, November the 21st, over there at Dahlia Drive in Elisha Cadillac Harris Stadium. Coach Hall, our guest here on 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. You mentioned just being the little brother, and you got a lot of respect for Coach Williams and the Stallions. But besides the obvious of, well, Matt, we've got to score more points than them and win it for 48 minutes or more if it's required there, what are the small things you have to do differently in terms of details to get the outcome? Because you've played them competitively for a few years. What's it going to take to get over that hump in your eyes?
Just going back and watching the game films, because you always go back and you say, what could you have done better as a coach? And you know what I mean? As a coach and a leader of the team, you do have to wear that on your shoulder, and that, I wear my heart on my sleeve. But when it comes to getting over this hump, we got to play competitively all 4 quarters, obviously, but we have to eliminate the little things as far as turnovers and special teams, unwanted penalties, things along those lines like that, because they add up. It gives a team like that momentum, and you can't give a team like that momentum. I think we have what it takes. Every single year, we know we come into the game competitive. They know it's going to be a competitive game, and then get over that hump. We just got to eliminate those little small things, playing all 4 quarters. If it goes in overtime, it goes in overtime, and we play that quarter also. But just eliminating the penalties and doing what we're supposed to do in the game. So,
what would you say about the Beach District this year? Because I know some have said, looking at the playoffs here now, and you do have Indian River in your bracket. I know you're focused on your game singularly here, and as you should be. But the Beach, and I don't want to put you in an awkward spot here, Coach, but I've been a proponent of, I think it would be cool to see the Beach get that opportunity across the board to allow all of its schools, at least one out of district game. The Bay Rivers had that opportunity, and it got taken away with the addition from Gloucester from the PD to the Bay Rivers. And I think it hurts the Bay Rivers teams potentially for the playoffs. The Eastern, the Southeastern have that opportunity. And I get it. The Beach is a larger district with 11 schools. The Eastern has just 8. What's your view of it, and how do you adjust to different styles of football once you get to the playoffs? Because you have seen like an Indian River in the playoffs before. Give me kind of your thought on all that.
I think the Beach District is very competitive on my end. Just personally, it is tough because we have 11 schools, and I thought the Beach District was wide open this year. Like I said, we took 3 L's this year to 2 competitive teams. Cox is a competitive team based on competitive team, Green Run, obviously. And even, some of the teams that are, didn't even get the opportunity to make the playoffs, they're going to play tough. Anybody can show up. But I do like the opportunity to potentially play somebody out of district. Just my personal opinion. I don't know if it will ever happen, but it will give, the opportunity for us to see somebody different. In our division in 5, I think there are a lot of Beach District teams, so we do potentially play the same teams over and over again. So we're used to it, and it gets competitive. So when we get against a team like Indian River or Deep Creek, it's something new, it's something different. So it's exciting because we get to see something different. Last year we got the opportunity to play Deep Creek, so it was something different that we got to see. And then the year before that, or 2 years before that, we did play Indian River in the first round. But they just have a different style of playing. They're athletic and they're aggressive too. But it's good to get that opportunity and get that playoff environment early and often before you actually get to the playoffs. But nobody really knows what the playoff feel like unless you play in that cold weather in the playoffs.
So true. It's going to get chillier and chillier out there where the gloves are needed. And I interviewed a player from Indian River who didn't have the sleeves on. I'm like, I don't know how you guys do it. You guys are warriors, and you were a heck of a player back in your day. And it takes me to my last couple of questions here for you, Coach. We thank you for the time here on this particular Saturday morning on 757 Sports Talk. UVA, what a resurgence, Hunt, under Tony Elliott. I know last week's game, notwithstanding the tough loss to Wake Forest, they got a big one today against Duke. What do you think of the Wahoos and how things have turned around? Top 25, perhaps still in that ACC championship mix in college football playoff. And correct me if I'm wrong, didn't you play with the guy at Green Run that went to Duke? Were you teammates with Jamal Wallace or no? Was it him or somebody else?
Yes, I was teammates with Jamal Wallace.
Okay. Yeah. Do y'all have any friendly banter, back and forth trash talk for this game this week or no?
No, I haven't seen Jamal in a couple of years, but we did. I haven't seen him in a while. I've seen his brother recently, probably not too long ago, but definitely Jamal. I was pretty tight with him when I was in high school. He's a little bit older than me, but he did go to Duke. Yeah.
Okay. What do you think though about UVA's doing there? And I'm sure. I mean, you don't mind getting your kids to whatever college, but I'm sure Elliott and the staff are saying, we got to get some of those Sun Devils in the orange and blue here in the years to come like you were, huh?
Yeah, man, it's always great to see, your alma mater winning, man. And, that's what you want to see. It's happiness when the team's doing a great job with those players. I watched a lot of their games this year. I'm hoping to get up to a game when they play Virginia Tech. I know it's going to be really, really packed, but they're doing a lot of good things. He's getting the team to buy in, has a great facility. I got the opportunity to see that facility being built. I haven't got to see it actually finished, but going back on grounds, it's really nice to see what he has going on with the team, getting the kids to buy in, and they're believing in the system that they got going on. And, I do like the way that the ACC is doing it right now. Of note, like Atlantic and Coastal, I believe. I think it's just the best record. So, this is the opportunity for them to continue to win out and go to the ACC championship. And if that is the case, I probably will be in attendance for that game.
I don't think I've asked you before. Did you have a favorite moment from your college days at UVA?
I had a favorite game. We played Louisville. Yep, that was a big upset. I do remember that game. I can't remember the year. I do remember that game. Just playing against somebody. Playing against Louisville, yeah, we stormed the field. And just, seeing a lot of the players that are in the NFL right now, telling your kids like, yo, I've been on the field with these players, playing against them, because these are some of the guys that they look up to. And it's pretty dope to, have that experience and say, hey, we were playing against these same players, like Lamar Jackson and the Royce Freemans and the DeAnthony Thomas and the Marcus Mariotas. Those are it's really cool to see that they're excelling at the next level.
Yeah, that is so awesome. One more before we let you go. I haven't asked you to this in a while too. How's Bro doing? Devin Hall playing ball still overseas professionally?
Yeah, he's dominating over there, man. He's a guy over there in Turkey right now. I'm looking forward to potentially going to see him in the springtime. And it's really good to see that he's doing his thing, still balling. I think he just had a new contract with his current team, Fenerbahce. And he's just dominating, man. And, I do get the opportunity to go over there and see. I got to see him when he was playing with OKC. I saw him when he was in Australia. I saw him when he was in Milan. So I'm looking forward to potentially getting out there in the springtime and seeing him when I get some time off.
That's fantastic. I think I saw them win that chip, whatever it was in the summertime, whatever it was. It flashed across social media, and it's always neat to see these guys like yourself that I covered. Remember when y'all were babyface, and now here you are coaching on the quest for a championship of your own with the Salem Sun Devils. They're now 8-3, getting ready to take on Coach Hall's alma mater, Green, running the regional semifinals in 5A. Thank you so much. All the best to you and your squad, and we'll chat again soon. Enjoy the weekend.
All right, thank you. Tell Paul said what's up too.
All right, we'll do that.
All right,
that is Mark Hall III, our guest here of the Salem Sun Devils. We got coming up, you heard him say Paul. We've got Paul Crowley, the head football coach of the captains of Christopher Newport University, on the way. They're undefeated, perfect regular season. What a year for CNU. They're heading to the Division III NCAA tournament. They beat the College of New Jersey Friday night at Lions Stadium 27-7. They've got some local flavor on that team. I know Gunnar White's on that team from Tallwood High School. The 40-team bracket's going to be released coming up on Sunday afternoon at 5 o'clock on NCAA.com. And 10 straight wins, 15 straight victories dating back to last year when they won their final 5 games. And heck of a job he's doing over there. He's a local product, too, out of Lansdowne High in Virginia Beach. So he's scheduled to join us. At least that's what we communicated via the text and the message here. So we should hopefully have him on here in just a little bit here on 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Again, like, share, and subscribe and interact with us. We will come back and go through more of the brackets before we get Coach Crowley on, at least until we get Coach Crowley on here. NFL picks on the way soon as well. Coach Young is having internet difficulties. What's new? I would tell him what you do is you hit the power on button and make sure you're plugged into Ethernet. Although he might not have Ethernet. He doesn't even know what Ethernet is. And then he'll ask me what's the difference between Ethernet and internet. And then that will spark a whole different conversation for, probably 25 minutes. He's probably throwing things if he's at Smithfield High School, where I think he's attempting to get logged on. Maybe Pat Doolan can make sure he's in check. So more coming your way here on 757 Sports Talk. You're watching it with us on Cova Sports TV. And if you're not familiar with 757 Sports Talk, here's a little more about it.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk.
Usually it's Hatfield. That's why I try to tell everybody, get on Hatfield. He is the legal scribe, the talking head that knows all this, puts the whammies on. We do things different on this podcast. That's why we're rated number 3 in the state.
You got Play-Doh? Get out of here! We got people all over the globe watching with us. Sitting in a phone booth with you would be very... we
got to have your own phone booth. I'm not sitting in a phone booth with you.
It is 757 Saturday Sports Talk here on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe.
Did you know that the minimum limits in Virginia are $30,000? $30,000 is a lot of money on an individual basis. But if you're involved in a personal injury matter, that's not enough. Here at Williams-Deloitte, we're happy to provide a consultation on the amount of coverage you have in your vehicle. It can be confusing. Not many people understand it. You know you need to have it, but do you have enough? Give us a call today at 757-547-5555 so we can help you prepare in the case of an automobile accident or any other personal injury matter that you or your family may find yourself in.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why there's CHKD Sports Medicine. Advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever. The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Bacon cheeseburger, fries, drink, and a sundae. No time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. Right now at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship. And that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us. And the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
No Coach Ed Young. He's still trying to get on. And the odds now say it's minus 8,000 he does not make it on. Plus 6,500 he does. That's what they're telling me. The latest odds makers out there in the desert. Charles Elkins, my man out there. Don't pick on us old guys. I support Coach Young's internet capability. Yeah, I'm glad you support it because he does it right now. Graduated from a chalkboard to a dry erase board. Yeah. Well, anyhow, let's go back to the scores across the Commonwealth. Lake Taylor Titans. They don't run from people. Hank Sawyer and company, 49-6. That was a close ball game at the break with their opposition, that opposition being Colonial Heights, but they pull away behind that running game with Jeremiah Farabee, Keon Johnson, and crew. They'll take on the Norcom Greyhounds, who had some hard hitting from their defense. Got themselves an interception late. Jari Whitfield making plays all over the field for their defense, helping hit people, force fumbles. And DeMarcus Edwards is scooping them up. He's making plays all the time, I see, for that defense as well. Tackles for loss and second half shutout for the Greyhounds and Anthony Hawkins, who will now move to 6-5 and play at Lake Taylor. It was a fairly close ball game for about a half the last time they hooked up, and then Lake Taylor did what they did last night against Colonial Heights. They pulled away in the second half and won 40-26 back on October 3rd in Norfolk. It'll be the same location. And remember now, Norcom does have some experience from last year's team that fell to Lafayette in the Region 3A finals. So that one's worth checking out if you want to see a good, rugged, physical ball game where both teams feel like they have a real shot at it. Hopewell, 27-14. They got the dub over New Kent as a 6 beats a 3. It was one of our Hats Hit takeaways that we touched on Friday night into Saturday morning here on Cova Sports TV. You know, there was a bunch of blowouts. The 6 seeds, there were 5 of them that won across the board, like Southampton, Smithfield, Lebanon, and, of course, Hopewell. Ricky Irby's got playoff experience. He's no newbie. And Antonio Monroe Jr., 20 rushes, 240 yards, 4 touchdowns. He was eating. Yeah, it's not Thanksgiving yet, but he was eating. And now they'll see Petersburg, who they lost to. Another ball game that was, again, fairly competitive and close, much like the rematch with Lake Taylor Norcom. The team that lost has to feel like they can be in this one when the fourth quarter arrives because Petersburg only beat Hopewell 20-12 back on October 23rd. 8-point difference. That's a 1-possession touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Petersburg kicked the offense in the high gear with 40 on the board against York as they win by 33. Jerome Mathis, the former NFL return man star and Hampton U product, has the Crimson Wave at 8-3, thinking big things for this year. All right, let's go down to Region 3B. Brentsville District tripped me up. I had James Monroe, as did Coach Young. Skyline beats Meridian by 2 scores, but Culpeper and Kettle Run look like the dominant teams in that region. And I say dominant for Culpeper because that was a game where Ed was saying his guys, the Gucci's, the Bulldogs, Goochland, he thought had a real shot in that one. Ned did not have a shot, it looked like. Still got a little ways to go. But Culpeper, they beat Caroline to close out the year, and now they get this one, and it looks like they have a chance to be in the mix on Thanksgiving weekend to see Kettle Run, who's coming off a loss in last year's state championship game to Liberty Christian. Remember, Kettle Run took out Lafayette in the state semis for all my friends in the 757. They remember that not too fondly. The folks in Nokesville remembered it very fondly before they lost to LCA. Speaking of Liberty Christian, they win it with defense, 14-12 against Broadway. I say defense because the week before the Gobblers piled up 83 on Harrisonburg. Didn't happen this time as LCA holds on. They'll take on Wilson Memorial, which won 41-29 over Fluvanna. Do wonder if that Wilson Memorial Green Hornets defense can take care of Jaden Cowart and what LCA can do running, but also throwing it with Luke Gaither. It was a wonderful classic that we saw back on Halloween, 35-33, Heritage Lynchburg and LCA with 7 lead changes. Do feel like we're destined to get it again, even though Turner Ashby won pretty comfortably over Allegheny, and they are no pushover at 10-1 on the year with balance. This is the year after Bo Baylor and Micah Matthews. Micah Matthews is now playing at Virginia Tech, multi-sport standout in football and baseball. They did not miss a beat That program's got the culture, and they've turned the corner to go 10-1 after those guys graduated. Some thought they might have a little bit of a rebuilding situation. Wasn't the case. And in 3D, Magna Vista, Ethan Dukes goes over 1,000 yards rushing for the year. They breezed by Abingdon after falling behind early 3-0 in that one. Carroll County knocks off Northside. William Byrd will take on Lord Botetourt. Their last two meetings have been just epics, as it was William Byrd winning an overtime double OT last year and then winning the regular season game between the two when they played back on, it was October 24th, 42-41. So that has the makings to be a real exciting matchup between the Terriers and Cavaliers yet again. We'll see if either defense can get some stops. I know the fans probably hope not. Have a game in the 40s again, which would be epic football. We've got more coming your way here on 757 Sports Talk. NFL picks around the corner. If Coach Young is able to get his internet fixed and rejoin me, we'll do our buy or sell segment, or I might just do it solo. Again, you can always watch our program on YourView and Cox Communications. We are airing on Mondays at 8 o'clock Eastern. We are on Tuesdays at 12 noon and on Wednesdays at 4 o'clock. Check your local listings. You see the channels across the state of Virginia and Hampton Roads, Nova, and Fredericksburg, as well as Roanoke, for you to check out and interact with us as we talk all things sports with you, pro, college, and high school. But when we return, we have the special guest from the Christopher Newport Captains, undefeated. It's Coach Paul Crowley set to join us here. He's a Lansdowne High alum, and they're going to the playoffs. He'll tell us about the NCAA Division III tourney. He's got some local flavor and Virginia talent all across his roster, too, as you're watching 757 Sports Talk with us here on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe and interact with us. But we'll take a quick word from some of the sponsors, including Town Bank, and come back with more right here. Stay tuned.
Did you know that the minimum limits in Virginia are $30,000? $30,000 is a lot of money on an individual basis, but if you're involved in a personal injury matter, that's not enough. Here at Williams Lloyd's, we're happy to provide a consultation on the amount of coverage you have in your vehicle. It can be confusing. Not many people understand it. You know you need to have it, but do you have enough? Give us a call today at 757-547-5555 so we can help you prepare in the case of an automobile accident or any other personal injury matter that you or your family may find yourself in.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why there's CHKD Sports Medicine. Advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever. The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Bacon cheeseburger, fries, drink, and a sundae. No time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. Right now at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us. And the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here is Matt Hatfield.
And we'll welcome you back to 757 Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe to Cova Sports TV and interact with us. We have a special guest with us. He is the head football coach of the Christopher Newport University Captains, undefeated, 7th ranked in the country as they win it by a count of 27-7 on Friday night over the College of New Jersey at Lions Stadium. 10-0 season, and the win streak, I believe, is 15 and counting now for Paul Crowley. He's an alum of Lansdowne High in Virginia Beach out of the 757. Coach, congratulations on the great year for the Captains. You guys were rolling into the NCAA Division III tourney, and you got to be pumped about your squad and what you're doing.
Yeah, it's been a really special year for our guys. This is, my 4th year taking over as head coach, so it's our first time with the full team of our recruiting classes, and it's chock full of kids from the 757, and they've just done a phenomenal job. And been able to get us to this 10-0 start, which is the first time we've done it in school history. And like you said, 15-game winning streak. It's a special group of kids.
That's awesome. And then we mentioned earlier, the NCAA website will have the Division III brackets, the 40-team field coming up on Sunday at 5 o'clock. You can take us through more of the particulars about that in a moment. But we've had you on in the past on our radio side of things. Now we're on the podcasting here with YouTube and on the television side. So fill the audience that are unfamiliar with your background. We mentioned you are from the 757 and Lansdowne High. Your days there playing for a highly regarded coach in Chris Beatty, who's now in the NFL, and then taking us into your journey as a coach, the assistant days and all your travels.
Yeah, I was really, really fortunate at Lansdowne to play for Coach Beatty and Coach Jackson prior to that. But, Coach Beatty's really the one that made me want to get into this. I was just super impressed with how smart he was. And, he wasn't a yeller or a screamer, and I knew that couldn't be me as a head coach. So that's really where I got the bug. I was fortunate to play on those really good Lansdowne teams in the mid-2000s. Doesn't seem too long ago, but, it's going on 20 years now. I was a good player. I was all-state, but I was looking for the right fit. And, some of the Division I stuff was all walk-ons, Division IIs and Division IIIs, and really didn't know a lot about Christopher Newport, but came up and really was impressed with the winning culture and the game day atmosphere, and decided to have a playing career there. And, got to have a good one, play in the playoffs, do some good things, and coached my first 9 or 10 years under Coach Couchner. Eventually became the offensive coordinator. And then when he retired, they brought in a different head coach. I went up to William & Mary and was fortunate to learn under Jimmy Laycock for 2 years there. Obviously legendary, one of the winningest coaches in college football history. And just make some great connections. And then, this is going on year 4 now, back at the alma mater, back in the 757 as a head coach.
That's fantastic. Some excellent mentors when you mentioned Coach Jackson and Coach Beatty and Coach Jimmy Laycock, who rightfully so got that well-deserved spot in the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame a couple years back. I wanted to go back to your playing days. You were an all-district, all-region, all-state center. Is that right?
Yep, senior year, yeah.
Okay.
No, face doesn't show it anymore, but yeah.
Well, but you know what? I think of linemen a lot of times. They're great interviews for us, and I always equate you all as linemen, because you're still a lineman at heart, to like catchers in baseball. They end up being really good coaches or managers in baseball, and I see that with linemen. But we'll dive into that in a moment. I want to know, though, you played with Percy Harvin. You played with Damon McDaniel, the late Devion Simmons, and those Lansdowne teams that are regarded as some of the best in Virginia high school league history. When you played with those guys, did you ever sense how special it was? And now that you've been, 20 years plus here removed from it, what are your fondest memories from that time?
Just the runs with the guys. I think you never know what you're fully capable of until you actually accomplish it. When Coach Beatty came in, we knew we had a talented team with all those guys you mentioned, and Ryan Goings and all those different guys, TJ Mitchell, Jeremy Gilchrist. But a Beach team had never really won a state championship. So to even make it that first year and feel like we had a chance, and then Westfield got after us, that was my junior year. And to be able to come back after losing guys and win a state championship, it just really hadn't been done before. So, you had the vaunted Chesapeake teams, the Western Branches, the Deep Creeks we knew we'd have to get through. Then, those Northern Virginia teams were rolling at the time. So to be able to bring one back to the 757 in Division VI back then was pretty cool. And yeah, I don't think you really appreciate how talented some of those guys were. I remember getting to college and we had some talented guys at CNU, some borderline NFL guys. And I was kind of like, these guys aren't that fast, because I had recollections of Percy and Damon. So I got kind of spoiled there a little bit.
Yeah, and it makes me feel old as dirt now that Damon McDaniel's son, Damon McDaniel Jr., is balling out for the Maury Commodores, trying to win a 3rd straight state title before he heads off to college at the next level. And it makes me just feel old to see all these guys that now you all covered. Here they are coaching their sons coming up, and Damon going to NC Central, the younger one. But as you got to college here, and then you go through this whole coaching process, what made you want to be a head coach? I mean, what kind of burned the fires for you? Now at CNU here, you're now a veteran at this thing, and you've got one of the best programs in the entire nation. What's kind of been the keys or secret to your success, if you can explain to us?
I would say just staying grounded in the job I was in, but always having aspirations of going higher. When I first got in, I just wanted to be the best, tight ends coach I could be. And I was really fortunate to move around and coach receivers and coach running backs and tight ends. And since then, I've done O-line and quarterback. So as a young coach, I was really able to see different position groups and see it from a holistic perspective. So, I feel comfortable coaching any of those positions. And I really, really think that's helped me as a head coach. Just being able to understand the game from a big picture perspective. But I'd say just keep your feet in the ground, at the space where you are. A lot of young coaches are always looking for the next move. But I always just tried to focus on being the best coach I could be. And to be perfectly honest, becoming a head coach was eventually the goal, but, I didn't know it would happen this fast or anything like that. But, I just feel like I prepared for, if the opportunity presented itself, I'd have an idea of what I wanted to do.
We're chatting with Paul Crowley. He's the head football coach of the Christopher Newport University Captains, a perfect 10-0 as they march onto the 40-team bracket that will be released this weekend in the NCAA Division III playoffs, as they were victorious on Friday night by a count of 27-7 over the College of New Jersey. Coach Crowley is our guest here on 757 Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe to Cova Sports TV. And you've got lots of Commonwealth flavors we touched on. We'll dive into that here with your roster here and also the recruiting pieces attached to it here. Connor Berry, the quarterback out of Madison High School, 18 of 26 for 201 yards and 2 touchdowns to go with a rushing score for you. And then the final score of the game, a guy not from Nova but from the 757, and Gunnar White from Tallwood High in Virginia Beach. Tell me about those two young men and other key contributors, whether they're from VA, the 757, or anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, we only got 2 guys on our roster that aren't from Virginia. We've made a concerted effort to recruit the state of Virginia. Obviously, I grew up on that football, so we felt like if we just recruited the whole state as well as you could possibly recruit it, we could, field a nationally competitive team. Just mentioning some of those guys, Gunnar White was one of our first recruits to come on board, and everyone knew how great a player he was at Tallwood. We were fortunate to get him, and the touchdown he scored last night was his 50th career touchdown for CNU now in 4 seasons. And, that's the sell in recruiting is, you can chase the D1 and go somewhere where maybe they want you, maybe they really don't want you. They're just taking you as a walk-on. You can come somewhere where, hey, you can cement your name and be in the Hall of Fame and break all kinds of records. And that was the sell to Gunnar. And, I think he'd tell you it was a really, really great decision for him. Similar, we had a kid, Colin Hart from Stonebridge up in Nova. He's been a 4-year starter. He just broke our career catches record last night. And then, Connor Berry's been special for us this year. On the season, he's pretty much led the country in pass efficiency at any level all the way through. 34 touchdowns, 3 interceptions passing, and then another 9 rushing. So obviously that's pretty special stuff he's doing. And we've been fortunate to take a lot of these quarterbacks from Virginia high schools that have played in those big games. He was at James Madison playing against Oscar Smith, and, our quarterback before that, Matt Pazerski, was at South County playing against Oscar Smith in state championship. So when you get those kind of guys that are played in those kind of games before, they're ready for the challenge in college.
No, it definitely matters. And I hear that from all the successful coaches, whatever sport it is, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, softball, you name it, field hockey, that's the common thread, getting players from winning programs that have the character, have that DNA in them and the work ethic. And for you, I'm curious too, as you went from the assistant coaching ranks to the head coach, we had COVID and now the changes that have happened above you at the higher levels with Division I and NIL, the transfer portal. Have you had to make some different adjustments, adapting the tweaks? And how have you all, as a program at CNU, been affected by those things? Is it still the core principles and values remain the same, and you want to find good football players that come from winning backgrounds and have the character that doesn't change? How do you view it?
Yeah, I think all that's true. And then it's always been important, but I think even more so, find kids that really, really love playing football. There's a lot of kids that like the recruiting process, but, are they going to be willing to put the work in? Are they going to go through the tough times that are going to happen as part of being a college football player? We're fortunate that, the transfer portal and all that hasn't affected us too much. We got a really nice campus and a great education. So for our guys to leave that, it would be really hard. But, it's really been the same model of just recruit Virginia kids. And, I still recruit, parts of Norfolk, Virginia Beach, and all of Chesapeake. And reason being is I know the importance of, football in the 757 is still where we want to build the bulk of our roster. So, I'd imagine I'm one of the only head coaches that still has a recruiting area, but that's purposeful.
For sure. Now take me through in the last couple minutes here with you, we think for the time, your opinion of the sport from your playing days when you were in college and high school to now. How's the game changed, if at all, and especially for your level at CNU? What's different about the sport and the teams you see? I know you're in a different conference than years ago. You can kind of explain that and elaborate that to folks that are unfamiliar with it, but what's different about it now from say 10, 15, 20 years ago in your eyes?
Yeah, I mean, the portal's changed everything, right? To be, perfectly honest, it would make me less want to coach at the Division I level at times where you're having so much attrition, a different roster every year. You can't really grow and develop kids and build relationships over the course of 4 years. And, that just leads to a lot of parity where it's hard to build a successful winner because, You got a new group of kids every year. So I don't envy those guys at that level by any means. And for us, it just means we're getting really, really good football players that slip to the Division III level because, they're not getting taken out of high school. So, I challenge you to look at our roster and look at some of their high school resumes. We got guys, that in other eras might be playing at higher levels. And, we play against guys that get NFL looks. It's a really highly competitive level of football.
For sure. And there's so many players from all over the Commonwealth. You mentioned only 2 guys not from Virginia on your roster. So whether it's the Connor Berries or the Colin Harts, the Josh Powell from Maury High School, Gunnar White from Tallwood, so many different impact performers. What's next for you? Because you're 10-0, unbeaten regular season. You've checked off one thing on the goals list, but you're not done. And I know there's still more in front of you as you chase an ultimate championship, a national one. Give me kind of how things go with the bracket and how it will play out for the tourney and what's next, because a lot of people are not all that up to speed with how it works for you all at D3.
Yeah, and it's a little bit uncharted territory for us too. This is only the second year they added 8 more teams, so it's a 40-team field, and just over half the teams get byes in the first week. So we'll definitely get that first round bye. Be playing next Saturday, not this coming one, so 2 weeks from today. And we'll get a home game, which we haven't had a home game in the playoffs since 2006, back when I was a sophomore in college. So we'll probably play the winner of a play-in game, so not know until the week of exactly who we're going to play. But, we'll be excited to be playing at home. Thanksgiving, there's nothing more our kids could ask for than, playing in that kind of weather, playing in those kind of scenarios. So I'm excited for our guys.
That's so cool. And if people haven't been over to your campus and facility, they're missing out. It's just gorgeous over there at CNU. Last time you played, you're right, 2006 at home in the NCAA action. Fell to Washington, Jefferson 27-23, looking for a different outcome this time. I'll let you go on this one, and I appreciate your time so much and wish you and the squad all the best here moving forward here into the postseason. But this team, has it, in your eyes, exceeded the expectations that you had going in? Because I know you probably felt it was pretty good. And where have you been better? And what will it take now, being so effective here, undefeated, to take that next step? What's it going to require to do the unthinkable and win a championship?
Yeah, I told our kids last night, true serum, if would I have guessed 10-0 to start the year? Probably not. But, I think we all just approach it one game at a time. And, once you win 3, then you win 4, then you win 5, and you just try to keep it going. So yeah, I'd say we've, exceeded my expectations a little bit. We've been really, really good on offense, and Connor Berry's really led that. We're averaging 47 a game. When you're scoring that many points a game, you have a chance to be successful. Then a really opportunistic, defense. We're one of the top teams in the country in turnover margin too. They've done a great job there. So you put those 2 things together, we've been able to win, some close games against top 25 teams, 2 of those this year. So that's what's put us in this position, and we just got to be resilient because, now every one of these games is going to be a close one. We're going to have to win in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Fantastic. Well, go do me a favor and say hello to my buddy, the real Coach K, as I call him, Coach John Krakorn. I always joke when we have him on that it's not Mike Krzyzewski, it's him. And he got himself a natty a couple years back, and the men's and women's basketball programs have been doing great things. You've had so many sports there, softball, now football in the limelight here with an undefeated season, and you're not done yet on the pursuit of a national championship. He's doing a fantastic job. Paul Crowley, the head man over there, a Lansdowne High alum out of Virginia Beach. Thanks so much. Enjoy your weekend, and I look forward to chatting with you soon, hopefully after a natty.
Thanks, Matt. Always great talking with you.
You got it. That's Paul Crowley, our guest here on 757 Sports Talk. Stick around. We got more coming your way. You're watching COVA Sports TV. Now, from those that help make it possible. Stay tuned.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there, because here you are more. One Life Fitness.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us. And the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
Portco is your local nonprofit organization dedicated to economic empowerment through employment for people with disabilities. We focus on abilities, not limitations, providing on-the-job vocational support. Find your pathway to employment. Contact us or learn more at portco.org.
I'm Dr. Mark Cardelia, orthopedic surgeon and surgical director of the CHKD Sports Medicine Program. We see a lot of knee injuries in student athletes these days, and many of these are ACL tears. Parents often ask how to know when a knee injury may be serious. The most obvious symptom is severe pain or swelling in the knee joint. Your child may have heard a pop when the injury occurred. Look for signs they can't put weight on the knee around 48 hours after the injury, or if the knee feels unstable or wobbly. Those are all signs you should see a CHKD sports medicine specialist. Our sports medicine physicians, surgeons, athletic trainers, and physical therapists understand the needs of growing athletes and tailor treatment to fit each child's age and level of activity. Our goal is to accurately diagnose the problem in a timely fashion and provide the treatment that will ensure a safe return to activity. Kids want to play, and we want to help them get back in the game. To learn more, visit chkd.org. Sports medicine at CHKD. We're more than a hospital.
All right, here with Indian Riverhead football coach Brandon Carr after his Braves win at 47-14 over the Kempsville Chiefs in the regional quarterfinals. Now 9-2 and on to take on Cox next week in the semifinals. Coach, you knew last year you got down 14, had the third quarter explosion against this Kempsville team. How proud are you that your group came out focused, ready to play, and didn't fall behind this one tonight?
I think that, the focus and the excitement was there all week long. They were ready to play since Monday. They've been itching, waiting to get to the playoffs. So I'm happy the way they showed up and they were ready to play.
Where have you seen this team evolve the most from game one to now in your eyes? Because you've had a lot of quality opponents in the Southeastern District. We think of the likes of defending champ Oscar Smith and Kings Fork and Nance River, among others. Where do you think you guys have grown the most?
I think it's in the amount of kids that we're seeing on the field, the depth that we're building, being able to play some people in different spots and move, especially in that receiver room. You're seeing a lot of different guys be moved around in that group. So that's exciting to see, and that's definitely helped us grow when you're able to sub some guys in, spill a couple guys for a couple plays. So it's helping our depth in that standpoint.
Yeah, we're seeing a bunch of different guys in the trenches step up for you. We know about certainly Corey Centerland as a two-way star for you, Jamari Horton making plays for you. Line of scrimmage didn't have a lot of miscues and really held Kempsville's physical ground attack in check most of the night. Yeah,
defense coordinator, Anthony Smith and our D-line coach, Larry Cheston, they take pride in it. They're going to take pride in it. They don't want anybody running the ball on us. If you're going to beat us, you're going to beat us to the end. With our DC being a D-line guy, takes huge pride in this. So, they're doing a phenomenal job up front.
You mentioned the depth you have at the wide receiver position, which Indian River's been known for years. Certainly names like Jason Preston for you, Elijah Boggs with a couple touchdowns tonight, Jay Sean Preston. And, by the way, how about Ryan Robinson tonight? He scores on a couple of catches and a 90-yard pick six. Two-way performer who really has shined here lately.
Yeah, you know how it is. Sometimes it's your night. You find your groove and you just do some good things. The ball just seems to find you, and that was the type of night Ryan had tonight. Speaking
with your quarterback, the freshman who's so poised, over 230 yards tonight, 5 touchdowns again for Lord Malik Heru. It felt like the part of the plan was to let the run, to let the pass, and the pass let the run. Did you see that when you had that nice drive? You had about 4 or 5 runs in a row, and then you hit him with some big pass plays. You had the nice balance to get some explosive plays out of it?
Balance, that's what you need. Balance. This time of year, you got great balance. You can do a lot of great things offensively.
Do you marvel at what this quarterback's doing for you? He's only a ninth grader, but he just continues to do some things that are pretty amazing and impressive to watch for just a kid that's, is he 14 years old, 15 years old?
14, 15 years old. He's just prepared, and he prepares daily. I've been saying this since August, how he attacks the week. He attacks like an upperclassman. So, I'm just excited to watch him play every Friday night.
Yeah, you don't hear even the seniors use the word analyze, which you just said to me a little while ago. Last two lets you run here. To get this win back to the regional semifinals, what do you think that the mood of the team is right now? Because it feels like now with you at the helm, the thought is to be playing every year in Thanksgiving weekend. Is that kind of the thing you've talked the group about, as you go into August and get ready for the cold here in November and December?
Oh yeah, well, this senior class here, this will be the freshman group that came in when I got the job here. So that expectation, that standard is kind of built in. They expect to be playing in November when it gets cold. So we're going to continue to build on that, and that senior group is kind of driving and leading that force. Like, hey, this is the expectation, and we can't fall short.
Sure. Lastly, I know you like to be at home next week, but you're on the road against Cox in Virginia Beach. It's the first time ever that Indian River and Cox will play in a football game. What do you know about the Falcons? What will it take to beat them?
Very disciplined ball club. In scouting Kempsville, we were able to peek a little bit at them, see what they do. We're just going to line up, play football, have a great week of preparation, and get ready to try to win another game next week.
Well, thank you so much. Should be a fun week with the Falcons and the Braves next week, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.
And now back to Matthew Hatfield and the evil basketball coach. Blast you, Ed Young!
Oh, look who's with us! Finally! Long overdue. But you know what? Better late than never. The coach, Ed Young, greets all on this particular edition of 757 Sports Talk. He had to get on by his phone. And listen, your man Charles Elkins was giving you some props. He says, don't give him a hard time about his internet capability. He actually loved the pizza we were showing from Chicho's. You missed Mark Hall of the Salem Sun Devils. You missed Paul Crowley of CNU. But if you missed any of the show like Ed Young did, you can always go back on Cova Sports TV on YouTube, hit that like button, hit that share button, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button. You can go back and watch it and hear all the jokes we made about him while he was gone. But you're here with us now. Good morning, sir. And you're ready for basketball practice, aren't you? Uh-oh. We can't hear him. He's talking and we can't hear a word he's saying. Is he muted? Uh-oh. Try it again. Take two. Oh, we don't hear you now. We see you talking. Now you're muted. You are muted entirely. You've hit a button on your volume. We can't hear a word you're saying. We can't hear a word you're saying. Is your microphone on? We're going to troubleshoot this. Unbelievable. We can see him, but we can't hear him whatsoever. I have no ability to raise your volume. Uh-oh, he's locked off. He threw the phone in the river, guys and gals. He got so mad, he chucked the thing. He chucked it over there in the Smithfield Pond. Well, he got on, but we couldn't hear him. Maybe he needs a new phone at this point. That's the only thing I can tell you. Maybe he needs a new phone. We were about to play buy or sell and do the NFL picks. And I can't give him 3 losses, folks. I can't give him 3 losses. That would be so wrong of me. This is the best comedy show Saturday morning I've ever seen. You're right, Charles. It's comedic relief. That's what it is. Couldn't get him. I mean, hey, got to get him a new phone. Maybe we can pass around the collection plate to get Coach a new phone. Maybe the Smithfield Booster Club can help raise the funds to get him a new phone. That's what I'm hoping. Uh-oh. Here we go. Take 2, Charles. Let's see if we got him. Is he with us? Can we hear you? Oh, we still can't hear you. We still can't hear a word you're saying. Now you muted yourself. Uh-oh. I see the level. Oh, we got you. Try talking.
It work now.
It works now. We got a win. Touchdown. There we go. We got an applause somewhere. Hold on. We got an applause. Let's give him an applause, folks. There you go. Great job. You got your phone working.
And by the way, I could not hear the applause.
Oh, you didn't hear the applause? But it played again. Nothing? It played. People are hearing it. You're just not hearing it. That's all.
All I'm going to say is this. I am so proud of my maturity in dealing with with technology, because I'm going to be honest with you. What I've gone through in the last hour would have me arrested in most, probably 49 states, not counting.
Wow. Well, listen, I know your time is limited because you have practice at 11 sharp. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do as quickly as we can. I wanted to promise the folks we were going to do a quick buy or sell and NFL picks. Are you equipped to do that? And just give us your analysis of the high school football later when you have time and you can exhale and hit the couch and get a nice beverage and that good OJ you like. Can you do it then for us? Is that cool?
All I want to know about the playoffs, I think by my calculations, I'm one up on you. Is that true?
I think you are up by one. Yes, you are ahead. I don't know if it's one or two, but you are ahead, sadly. So, yeah, you can thumbs up it. That's all right. I'll make a rally like I did in the regular season, but you are ahead. Thanks a lot to those upset picks like Broad Run who let me down and a couple others. But I did get you on Madison Langley. That's the only game I got you on, but I think you got me on 2. So I think you are up 1. Yes. There you go. Yeah. And I should have took Bethel over Nansman. I don't know why I didn't do it. I was afraid. I thought Tyrell Grant would play. I didn't have faith in the Bruins like I should have. David Porter and company. I should have had faith in you guys, but I didn't pick them.
Hey,
and it bit me.
Hey, you talk about trouble. What I went through yesterday at Smithfield High School, because I picked War Hill.
Oh, you did. You're right. And they saw it, and they should be mad as they should be steaming at you.
I actually got fired yesterday. And through the grace of the good Lord and a few people, I got rehired real quick before it hit the media. Wow. I was destroyed in picking War Hill. Now they want me to keep picking against them the rest of the way.
Pick Lafayette next week. Go ahead. Do it. Go ahead.
Lafayette has a great chance to win a state title. So I saw Coach Parker. I put my head down and he threw rocks at me.
Yeah.
The kids tore me apart. I mean, oh my God. I don't even know how they found out, but you know what? Hopefully they'll keep listening. So we'll go from there.
Look at there. It looks like you're in a Mexican restaurant in town. I like it. Look at it.
Okay.
I mean, yes, chips and salsa, Derek. Chips and salsa.
Hey, walk with me. Wait till you see this. Walk with me, people. You ready?
Wait, be careful walking because you might end up going on. Oh, yeah, you're back in the do we have that? Where is it? We don't have the dun dun dun. Oh, yeah, there it is. Oh, there's the dead bodies. Yeah, it's back. The dead bodies, folks. Oh, no.
This is my world.
Yeah.
This is my world every day. See that?
Yeah, we played the dun, dun, dun. Okay, yeah, we see your world. It's nice. At least you have a sink over there. That's good that you got a sink. We like that.
I got all kind of stuff over here.
Let's play because your time is precious, as is mine. A quick edition of buy or sell, shall we? We got 5 burning questions, then our NFL picks for you, and then we'll let you go do what you got to do. You ready to play? Here we go. Buy or sell, Coach Young. College football styles. We get it revved up for you. Texas Tech leads the nation in blocked punts with 5. Will the Red Raiders get at least 2 more on their way to a Big 12 championship? So that means it has to happen before the playoff, not in a bowl game. Will they get at least 2 more blocked punts? They got 5 so far this year, and I'm sure you got a question before you can answer this question, don't you? And that question is going to be, if I know you like I know you, how many more games they got, Matt? Who they play today?
How many more games they got? Who they play today?
I know them too well. They play UCF today, and then they play West Virginia. And then you would have the opportunity to get it in the Big 12 championship. So there could be up to 3 games. Can they get 2 more block punts in 3 games? I so badly want to buy this, but the odds and law of averages say no. Sell it.
Definitely not going to get any against Central Florida. Possibly 1 against West Virginia. But you said 2, so I would sell it.
Yeah, I'm going to sell it too. We agree here. By the way, I think Old Dominion and James Madison both with 2 block punts and kicks. And how about that performance in front of the ESPN cameras for Ricky, Ronnie, and the Monarchs? They were not just Colton Joseph's been great all year long running and throwing at quarterback, but their defense just absolutely, that's as great as I've seen ODU's defense. And I didn't watch the whole game, but ever played. And they've played really well. They've been improving the last couple of years, but that was top tier, top shelf stuff right there. They got to love the way they're going after that loss to JMU. They've responded, and the loss to Marshall before that. They've responded nicely, and they're headed to a bowl and having a nice year.
That was a perfect time to play great in front of the nation because people will kind of think that's what they're normally like, which is great.
Yep.
and it's great on the comeback after those tough losses. So, and now any word on what potential bowl they may be looking at?
I haven't looked to see yet. It's been I've been knee deep in football playoff and of course basketball. I got a women's game coming up tomorrow at William & Mary, and I actually have 2 games in the same day next week, which is another story for another time. But I have not looked. And by the way, before we get to our second buy or sell question, I know you might have had a word or two you wanted to share on the late Jim Jarrett. We lost him, the longtime AD at ODU who passed away this week, 88. He was a great guy. Did you get to know him much? But certainly a pioneer for women's sports and everything he did at ODU.
You know, every time I saw Jim Jarrett, he was busy. He was either busy doing his job or there was a million people wanted to speak to him, handshake, whatever. Guy was extremely well respected in the athletic world of college. Tremendous trendsetter in women's sports, especially women's basketball. I dare say maybe out in the lead with that in terms of getting women's sports to the justifications they should have. And he did a tremendous job as an athletic director, very personable guy. Took time for a lot of people, shook a lot of hands. Losing him is, again, you're losing a pillar in that industry. I know he hasn't been an AD in a while, but he was a trendsetter for many of what our athletic directors now should be.
Echo the sentiments, no doubt about it. Rest in peace to Jim Jarrett. All right, our second one, each of the 3 remaining unbeaten in college football FBS play, the Aggies, the Buckeyes, the Hoosiers, win by double figures on this particular Saturday. You buying that or selling that? And, of course, here he goes with his next question. Well, Matt, who are they playing today?
Well, I know Indiana is playing Wisconsin, and that's probably going to be double-digit win for sure.
29.5-point spread.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I think I read somewhere and trying to do some homework this week, Wisconsin has scored less points in all their Big Ten games than Indiana is averaging.
That sounds about right. And by the way, the Hoosiers and the Aggies both, I believe, well, Hoosiers and the aforementioned Red Raiders are both top 5, I think, in scoring offense and defense. No, by the way, Indiana tops in the country in third down conversions. The Buckeyes, by the way, they play UCLA. The Bruins on the left coast, the West Coast. That is a late start, 34.5-point spread. I'm sorry, they don't play them in the West Coast. They play them at home. They play UCLA in Columbus. My mistake. Misspoke there. But still, 34.5-point spread. And the Aggies are favored at home by 16.5 against South Carolina. I'm going to buy this. This is an easy one.
Yeah. I think the key here, we're talking about all 3 of those teams are at home. UCLA scared a few people this year. I don't think they're going to scare Arizona State. And Wisconsin just doesn't have the firepower to do it with Indiana. The only one that would be close to, maybe not if Texas A&M comes in sleeping, would be South Carolina, because they've been known to play some of the tough teams really tough. All we need is a 10-point win. Texas A&M should do that. So I buy it.
They're not going to scare Arizona State or Ohio State, but I know what you meant. All right, let's get to number 3 here. Put up your Dukes. Either Duke's Blue Devils from the ACC or James Madison's Dukes from the Sun Belt will reach the college football playoff. Now, a few weeks ago on our television portion of the program, we said that we thought an AAC team will get there, but an AAC team might not. And if they don't, James Madison's got I think, according to the ESPN FBI or FPI or Elemento PI, says that they have the best chance, like 32.6%. Duke, by the way, monster game with UVA, part of a 5-way tie atop the ACC. Will one of the Dukes, either Duke or the JMU Dukes, make the playoff, buy or sell?
I think JMU is going to win the rest of the way. You know me, I've already said most of the teams that win the conference, unless they got 4 or 5 losses, should be in the playoffs. I think JMU makes it, not Duke.
I think JMU will win out. They've got Washington State at home, which is a trap game before the Coastal regular season finale, and then the Sun Belt Championship game, which they can host it, by the way. Duke, I don't know that Duke will win out, but I've got a 2-for chance. You're going to buy this? I think you might be right here, but again, 12-team playoff. Someone out of the AAC could steal it, and I fear JMU could lose in the Sun Belt Championship. That's what I fear for them. And if that happens, it's not going to happen because I don't think Duke is going to win the ACC. So I'm going to actually, you're buying it. I'm going to sell it.
I'm buying it because I'm thinking JMU wins out. If JMU loses one of their last games, including Sun Belt Championship, no way they're getting in.
Okay. Our last 2, we go to high school and the pros for those. 5 number 6 seeds won in the high school football playoffs to open up, including your Smithfield Packers, coached by Tracy Parker. Southampton knocking off unbeaten Lunenburg. Liberty Christian, Lebanon, and Hopewell. Hopewell took out New Kent LCA took out Broadway. Lebanon beat Virginia High, who had throttled them earlier this year. Will at least one of them make the region finals, Ed? If you want to know who they play, Hopewell will be in action against Petersburg, a 2 seed. Liberty Christian goes to 2 seed Wilson Memorial. Smithfield goes to 2 seed Lafayette. Southampton goes to 2 seed Pocosin. So some Bay Rivers teams on those matchups. What do you think? Will one make it? I think this is a total bye because I think LCA for sure. The other 4 is probably less than 40% chance, but LCA I think is going to win.
Yeah, I'm definitely. You're telling me only one has to do it. I definitely buy it because I think Liberty Christian can do it.
Woody says Phantoms and Truckers at noon. We'll get Ed's take on that in a moment. And Charles is signing off. He's got wrestling practice, so we thank Charles for coming on. He's rooting for Louisa next week against Huguenot, while Dinwiddie plays Verona in that loaded region.
Hey,
4B. Yes.
Where does Charles coach wrestling at?
Louisa. You heard him. Louisa Lions. He loves his Lions.
Charles, make sure if he's still on, make sure you teach those kids how to do the figure 4. You can win a lot of matches. Ric Flair won 16 titles with figure 4. Please teach the kids how to win.
He wants the figure 4. And our last one, a buy or sell before we do the NFL picks and let Ed go. Adios, amigo. For the first time since 2012, when Adrian Peterson won it, the NFL MVP will go to someone that doesn't play the quarterback position. You buying that or selling that? And I tell you, the latest odds, it shifted during the week from Drake May of New England to Matthew Stafford of the Rams. But right there in the mix is Jonathan Taylor of the Indianapolis Colts. Did you see what he did against the Falcons? He ran crazy. Could these quarterbacks cannibalize each other? And I know Daniel Jones was the hot commodity to start the year, but could it result in JT of the Colts or perhaps somebody else? I guess Jackson Smith and Jigba from Seattle is the long shot at wide receiver. Probably not going to happen. But is someone not at quarterback going to win MVP? You buying this or you selling this? I so badly want to buy it. I just don't know if I can.
I'm selling it. Taylor will not win it. He'll be in the mix, in the running, in the name. Will not get it.
Okay. You're going to sell it.
Sell it.
I'm going to only buy it because I think he's going to get – what's his yardage right now? He's going to get 2,000 plus. His numbers are so astronomical. I think he's going to make a case, and these quarterbacks will cancel each other out. I'm rooting for it. I'm rooting for him to get it. He's at 1139 through 10 games, 15 touchdowns. The next closest guy in the AFC has 7, and James Cook had. Next closest guy in the league has 11, and Josh Jacobs. If he needs that signature moment, though. That's what's going to haunt him or deny him potentially. But there you heard it from Charles. The risk control, he says, and that's going to do it for buy or sell. Are you ready, though, now for the NFL picks? After you basked in the glory of going a perfect, yes, folks, he might have cheated, but he went a perfect 3-0 last week. There it is, 1-2 for me and Brucey. Ed won on the Lions -7.5, Seattle -6.5, and the Bears, Giants under 47.5 at 24-20. Oh, why couldn't they have scored one more touchdown in that game? I won on the Rams -4.5, lost on the Bucks -2.5, and the Panthers, they crapped the bed -5.5. Bruce had Packers -1.5. They lost 10-6 on Monday night to Philly. Niners +4.5 was a loser, but his Chargers -2.5 was a winner. Bruce's picks, though, real quick. We'll give you the season standings. I'm 15-15. Bruce is 1 back. Ed is 12-18. Bruce has got Packers laying the 6.5 to get the job done. He's taking them in their matchup with the G-Men on the road. He's taking Minnesota -2.5 against Chicago. I like that one. And the Lions +2.5 against Philly. I also like that one for the matchup on Sunday Night Football on NBC. All right, you get the floor first for your first pick, and I bet you haven't looked at NFL games at all, have you?
I got them in front of me right now, and I'm ready to pick since I go first.
Well, you do that. Go ahead.
Give me. He took one I like. I like the Packers a lot against the G-Men, but who would not go against the G-Men? I'm going to give me. I haven't had success with this team, but I'm going to try it again. Give me 49ers. I got 2.5. Is it still 2.5?
49ers against the Cardinals are now 3. But since I'm in a giving mood to you today, and if they win by a field goal, I'm going to regret this later. I'm going to give it to you at 2.5, just because I'm nice today.
That's about time.
Yeah, all right. My first pick, I'm going to go with, in that big showdown, they helped me out last week. I'm going to go with the Rams again, -3 against Seattle. I think at home they will come through for me. That's my first selection. My second pick, I hate to copy Bruce. I do like both of those games, though, with Detroit and with Minnesota against the Bears. But I'm going to go with, for my second choice, they were so bad last week against the Chargers. I mean, listless. I'm going to take Pittsburgh minus the 5.5 to bounce back and beat Cincinnati at home. Mike Tomlin, Denby High product, William & Mary grad. Get it done for me. Aaron Rodgers will not play that miserably 2 weeks in a row. Otherwise, he'll have to retire. Pittsburgh against that very, very poor Cincinnati defense will get it done. Give me the Steelers minus the 5.5.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I watched that Steeler game. I think I actually turned it off because, I'm a big Steeler fan too. They're getting – they're actually like the team I do like, Raiders. Very hard to watch. I mean, it's some bad football. But I think they'll come back against the Bengals.
What's your next two?
I don't have – this is the one thing I don't have in front of my site is what is over and under on Washington, Miami?
I knew you were going there. It's a high total at 47.5. I don't know if it's going to get there. I think that's an underplay, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and plus Daniel's not playing.
It's Mariota versus Tua in Madrid, another country.
You know what?
The one that it could scare you is it sneaks. If you like the unders, it sneaks over if it goes to overtime. But I don't think it's going to get there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think it'll go overtime. You know what? Let me have the Texans. Give me the Texans. I got 7.5. Is that true?
It's now down to 5.5 at Tennessee. You wanted that? You want 5.5?
Give me 5. Give me 5.5.
All right, taking a road team in a division matchup. What's your next one? Another road team with your Niners at Arizona. What's your last one? You going to go with another road division team?
No, yeah. You know what? I am.
KC over Denver, aren't you? You're going to take KC over Denver.
I want to. I heard Denver's missing a Surtain, and there's was it the number one running back is out?
I believe so, but Patrick is the best corner in the sport right now, junior.
I'm debating between them or the Ravens over Cleveland.
Don't take that one. That's the one I've got circled. I will slap you through this.
Give me Baltimore over Cleveland, baby. Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
You jerk.
Hey, I'll give you Kansas City and Denver. Go ahead.
I don't want that one. Because that one's a bad hook, just like that one's a hook at 7.5.
All right, let me give you an even better one. Take the Cowboys over Raiders. You can't miss it.
Minus 3.5.
You can't. If it don't work, I got the next steak dinner for you.
All right, that's enough reason for me to pick it, and it gives me a reason to watch that dreadful game with their bad defense. And if Dallas wins by a field goal and they don't cover the 3.5, I will be so mad. You talked me into it because I was about to either copy Bruce's plus 2.5 for the Lions. I'm going to write that down as I was going to do it, or the under 48.5 Bears Vikings. That's going to do it. We're at 11. Ed's going to say goodbye. I'll put the finishing touches after a quick break on the Class 2 and Class 1 picture. We'll see you next time, Coach.
All right, I got to get running to practice, get these young men going. Hey, man, everybody out there, you know me in technology. I tried my best, but I finally made it, so give me credit for that. But I hope next week I'll have this whole situation fixed so I can be on.
Get the whistle. Have fun at practice. We'll come back with more and put the finishing touches on this episode of 757 Sports Talk. But let's take a time out and hear from the presenting sponsors of today's program right here on Cova Sports TV.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
Portco is your local nonprofit organization dedicated to economic empowerment through employment for people with disabilities. We focus on abilities, not limitations, providing on-the-job vocational support. Find your pathway to employment. Contact us or learn more at portco.org.
Well, Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
It's 757 Saturday Sports Talk with Matt Hatfield and the one and only Coach Ed Young. Every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on Cova Sports TV. From high school football and basketball to the NFL, MLB, college sports, and the NBA, if it's making headlines, they are breaking it down. Bold takes, big-time guests, and a few laughs, especially at the expense of that basketball coach, Ed Young. Catch it on Cox TV and your view, and don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube at Cova Sports TV.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here is Matt Hatfield.
All right, that just about does it for this episode of 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. In our remaining final minutes here, and we do apologize we didn't give enough time for the Class 2 and Class 1. They're just due, but Armstrong will win over Nottoway 49-8. They'll take on TJ of Richmond, who's been playing a lot better on defense here than they were in the middle portion or early stages of the season. Lunenburg gets knocked off by Southampton. That quarterback for the Indians, Zayden Pope, is the real deal, folks. And I think he will give Pocosin problems for a series or a quarter, maybe a half. But in the end, the Bull Islanders will get it done. Cam Stowers had an interception for them. Cody Little ran really well for Pocosin. And I think along with him and Dom Galakak, that team will be ready to go. And Pocosin will move on to see. Oh, my goodness, that Armstrong-TJ game's a coin flip. I said it in the start of the bracket. I like the TJ to get revenge against Armstrong. I'm not going to bail on it just yet with their defense. You have Strasburg and Central Woodstock. You have Buckingham and Stewart's Draft. The 9-1 teams, I think, are set to collide, though Central Woodstock is very live as a 4 seed, folks. They are starting to get the things figured out on offense, and their defense has been pretty consistent here down the stretch. Glenver, Brody Doyat did not play. If he's unavailable against Radford, that could pose problems. I do think they will see Gretna in the region final in 2C. Union and Graham look to be on a collision course in that semis. And I think Ridgeview is probably liking the matchup better with Lebanon than Virginia High. I think they can run the ball and play their style of game to get on to the regional title game against that Union Graham survivor. Not even winner, I just say survivor because that could be a war. Essex Northumberland. Essex should play better defensively this go round. They had the time off with the forfeit, as did Rappahannock. I hate the forfeit situation there. That's a bothersome pill for me. Northampton, Rappahannock. I am really curious to see if Northampton can step up and play here against Rappahannock. I don't know that they can. They haven't seen the competition level that the Northern Neck District teams pose with Essex, Northumberland, and Rappahannock being 3 of your Final 4 there. Alta Vista, I think, will win that region. Riverheads and Sussex Central should be a fun game that goes down to the wire. That's a sneaky good region 1B semifinal. Giles and George Wythe. That's a rematch of a game played not too long ago where, in fact, it was Giles who got the number 1 seed here over Craig County. They blitzed George Wythe 53-20. I think Wythe wants some payback. I'm not sure it's enough to get a different outcome. And I like Grayson County, though. The Rockets of Craig County deserve lots of praise for getting their first ever playoff win and having a 10-1 year here. And in 1D, East Side, I think, is too much for Honaker, especially Honaker's defense. Honaker can score some points and move the ball. And Rye Cove, Chilhowie, would not be surprised to see Rye Cove get revenge for a game that they lost to Chilhowie by a count of 25-14 back on October the 24th. So there you have it. That's the picture for your Class 2 and your Class 1. And that's going to do it for this episode of 757 Sports Talk. We thank you all for tuning in. For the coach, Ed Young, and our special guests, which included Paul Crowley, CNU head football coach, Lansdowne High alum, and Green Run High alum Mark Hall III, the head football coach of the Salem Sun Devils, and my partner, Ed Young. You heard from Brandon Carr, Indian River, Lord Malik Heru, and Ryan Robinson. I'm Matt Hatfield, and we'll talk to you next time right here on 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Have a great rest of your weekend, everyone. We'll see you 7 days or less.